Hello to all who are taking the time out of their day to join me on the mat, Pure Yoga Helen Rowe. And I'm going to be doing a practice today which is going to be adding on to the flow. So each time I do left and right, we add a pose onto each side. And we will be doing a little bit of spinal articulation first and a little bit of breathing. So coming to a seated position, I've elevated my hips a little bit by sitting on what they call a zafu cushion. But if you want to bring a normal cushion under the bum or a block under the bum, feel free to do so. Bring the hands onto the top of the thighs, take a close of the eyes. And just take this moment to scan the body from the top of the head down to the fingertips, down to the toe tips. Just having a check-in with how your body feels. When you've taken that mental scan of the body, start to bring the attention to the breath. Take a nice long deep breath in through the nose and a long sigh out through the mouth. Take another long deep breath in and a complete breath out through the mouth. One more breath like that, in through the nose, out through the mouth. Then if you're happy to bring that breath in and out through the nose, through the rest of the practice, trying to switch into that Ujjayi breath, that slight restriction at the back of the throat. So you take that breath in and out through the nose, just making that slight audible sound, that slight rasp at the back of the throat, keeping the mouth closed unless you feel you need to use that mouth at any point. Open the eyes. Take a roll of the shoulders up towards the ears and relax them back down towards the hips. Bringing your right hand onto your left knee, your left hand behind, rotate to the left. Bring it back to the centre, take it to the other side, taking rotation through that spine. One more both sides. Right hand to the left knee, rotate to the left. And then the left hand to the right knee and rotate to the right. Come back to centre. Bring both hands up towards the ceiling, palms come together at the top. Then bringing your left hand to the floor, reaching over with your right hand to the left side of the room, taking lateral flexion of the waist. Come back to centre. And then bringing your right hand down, reaching over with your left hand to the right side of the room, lateral flexion to the right. One more both sides, both hands up to the ceiling, then over to your left side, keeping both sit bones nice and grounded. Lateral flexion in that waist. Back to centre and over to the other side just for one more time. So we're moving that spine in all its planes of movement. Back to centre. Bring the hands onto the knees, bring the chin into the chest, push the centre of the spine to the back of the rib. And then lift the chest, raise through the rib cage, lift the gaze, push those rib cages forward and arch into the back. Take it both positions again one more time. Bring the chin in, send the centre of the spine back. And then send the chest forward, ribs lift, gaze lifts. And come back to centre as you've taken those last two movements. Then we're going to make our way onto our hands and knees, just bringing whatever you've used it as a seated tool just to the side of the mat. Heel of the hands under the shoulders, knees underneath the hips. Couple of rounds of cat-cow. Breath in, lift up the head, lift up the bum, drop the belly. Breath out, fold everything back in, chin to chest, tailbone tucks. And again, lift the head, lift the bum, drop the belly. Breath out, tuck everything in, and the tailbone tucks. One more of those, lift the head, lift the bum, drop the belly. Fold everything back in, chin to chest, tailbone tucks. Come back to a neutral space, tabletop position. And then turning your right foot slightly off the mat, bring your weight onto your right side and reach that left hand up to the ceiling. finding side plank. So this is our first pose of the flow. So bringing your weight onto that right side, try and lift that left leg up to hip height. So we're holding that side plank with that slight adjustment with the knee dropped on the right side. Reaching up through that left hand, pushing down with the right and expanding the chest. Come back to center, finding that tabletop position. Take a round of cat-cow. Breath in, lifts the head, lifts the bum, drops the belly. Breath out, we fold everything back in, chin to chest, tailbone tucks. One more of those. Breath in, lift the head, lift the bum, drop the belly. Breath out and that tailbone tucks. Come back to a center space. Turn your left foot off the mat. Roll over onto your left side. Reach the right hand up to the ceiling. Put the weight into that left side body as you raise that right leg up to hip height. Finding the squeeze of the outside of that right hip as you raise that right leg to that space. Feel that openness through the chest, the push into that left hand and grounding into the earth, and the lifting and lengthening with the right hand up to the ceiling. Come back to center. Heel of the hands under the shoulders, knees under the hips. Take a round of cat-cow. Breath in, lifts up the head, lifts up the bum, drops the belly. Breath out, we fold everything back in, chin to chest and the tailbone tucks. Come back to that center space, tabletop position. We'll do that side plank again and we'll add a close on. So turn your right foot off the mat. Put your weight onto your right side, reach your left hand up to the ceiling and raise that left leg. Just holding here for a breath. Then bring that left knee into the chest, take a hold of the shin and then bring that left foot forward and the right foot back onto the mat. Bring the hands together at the chest and hook that right elbow over the left knee. Push into those hands, turn and twist from the waist. So we're in low lunge legs, the right knee's dropped, the left knee's bent. We're pushing into the top of the back foot and the sole of the front foot. The rotation's coming from the waist rather than the pelvis. So the shoulders are turning to the left side of the room rather than the hips turning to the left. They're staying facing that short front edge. One more breath here. Then bring both hands down. Bring your left knee back to meet your right and take a round of cat-cow. Breath in, lifts up the head, lifts up the bum, drops the belly. Breath out, we fold everything back in, chin to chest and the tailbone tucks. Come back to that center space, tabletop position. Turn your left foot off the mat, step your right foot back, reach your right hand up. Lift your right leg up to hip height to find that side plank just for a breath. Then bring that knee into the chest, take a hold of the shin or the ankle, bring your right foot through, bring your left foot back on the mat. Bring the hands together at the chest and hook that left elbow over the right knee. Turn, rotate to the right, right shoulder stacks on top of the left, the support through the feet pushing into that earth. Easy breaths, the elongation creates the length of the spine and the out breath creates that twist. Just holding in this space just for another couple of breaths. Finding that support, finding that rotation, working that digestive system. Then release the hands down either side of the right foot and step your right knee back. Take a round of cat-cow, breath in, lifts the head, lifts the bum, drops the belly. Breath out, we fold everything back in, chin to chest and the tailbone tucks. Come back to center space. Turn your right foot off the mat, roll over onto your right side, left foot back, left hand lifts. Reach that left heel up so it comes to hip height. Hold it there for a breath. Then bring that knee to the chest, take a hold of the shin or the ankle and bring that left foot forward, bring your right foot back onto the mat. Bring the hands to the chest, right elbow hooks over that left knee and just find a rotation just for a breath here. Then turn the shoulders back to that short edge of the mat, bring the hands to the hips, tuck the back toes under, lift the back knee. Bring the hands behind the back, interlace the fingers, push them down towards that right heel and then just fold to the inside of that left thigh. Bringing that left shoulder towards that left knee and maybe raising the hands away from that lower back to find humble warrior on this side with the left foot forward and the right heel pushing back. The hips stay nice and low. The back knee's lifted and the gaze is down to the inside of that left foot. If those arms lifted feels too much on those shoulders, just bring those hands back to the base of the spine. Holding in this humble warrior just for a couple of breaths. Easy breaths in and long breaths out. Then bring those hands back to the base of the spine if they're lifted. Bring both hands then to the floor. Drop down your right knee. Bring your left knee back to meet the right. And take a round of cat-cow. Breath in, lifts up the head, lifts up the bum. Drops the belly. Breath out, we fold everything back in. Chin to the chest and the tailbone tucks. Come back to that center space, tabletop position. Doing those same 3 poses on the other side. Left foot turns off, right foot goes back. Right hand raises up to the ceiling. Then raise that right leg up to hip height to find that side plank. Then bring the knee into the chest. Take a hold of the shin or the ankle, bringing your right foot through, bringing your left foot back onto the mat. Hands come to the chest. Left elbow hooks over that right knee as we turn, rotate to the right, just for a breath or 2. Then turning the shoulders back forward, bring the hands to the hips, tuck the back toes under and lift the back knee. Bring the hands behind, interlace the fingers, push the hands down towards the back leg and then start to fold from the hips to bring that right shoulder towards the right knee, maybe lifting those hands away from the lower back. Keeping the hips low, the right knee bent and the left leg straight. Relax through the neck. Maybe gazing back towards those left toes. Feeling that chest coming to the inside of that right thigh and that space around that area. Holding it here, remember the hands don't have to be lifted, they can be at the base of the spine if you wish. Trying to stack that right knee over that right ankle. Trying to encourage the left hip forward and the right hip back to make sure that pelvis is in good alignment. Then bring those hands back to the lower spine if they're lifted. Then bring those hands to the floor either side of the right foot. Drop your left knee. Bring your right knee back to meet your left. And take a little round of cat-cow to neutralise the spine. Breath in, lifts the head, lifts the bum, drops the belly. Breath out, we fold everything back in, chin to chest and the tailbone tucks. Come back to neutral space, tabletop position. We're going to bring ourselves again through those 3 poses and adding a 4th one on. So turning your right foot off the mat, turning yourself onto that right side body, left foot back, left hand lifts to the ceiling, then lift that left leg up to hip height, finding that side plank on the right side. Bring that knee into the chest, take a hold of either the ankle or the shin, bring the left foot forward, bring your right foot back onto the mat. Bring the hands together at the chest. Bring your right elbow to your left knee, turn, rotate to that left side of the room. Easy breaths here in that rotation. Pelvis is neutral to the front edge of the mat and the shoulders turning to that long edge. Bring yourself back to centre. Bring the hands to the hips, tuck the back toes under, lift up the back knee, find your stability. And then bring the hands to the lower back, interlace the fingers, squeeze the shoulder blades together, create expansion through the chest. And then let that left shoulder come towards that left knee, lifting the hands away from the spine, if you wish. And then bringing those hands back to the lower back, lifting the shoulders over the hips, keeping those high lunge legs. Reach forward with the arms. Left elbow hooks under the right, bend the elbows. Either bring the hands to the shoulders or bring the back of the hands together, or find a double wrap, bringing the palms together. Lift up through those elbows to bring them in line with the shoulders, but let those shoulders relax. Keep that focus on those hips staying low. The energetic push into those feet, into those floors. Try not to flare the ribs too much. Try and draw those ribs and hips towards each other to get that good core engagement in that high lunge eagle arm position. One more breath here. And then release those hands down, either side of that left foot. Drop your right knee down. Bring your left knee back to meet the right. And this time we're going to do rotation in this tabletop position. Breath in, reach up with the right hand, turn and twist to the right. And then send that right hand in between the left hand and the left knee, bringing the right ear to the mat. If you're quite happy and comfortable with the neck space, maybe reach that left hand up to the ceiling. Keep pushing into that right forearm to turn and twist. Bring that left hand back down, reach back up with the right hand, turn, rotate to the right. Bring that right hand back to meet the left. Same on the other side, left hand lifts, rotate to the left. Thread the left hand in between the right hand, right knee, bringing the left ear to the mat. Then maybe reaching up with the right hand if you found a comfortable space for the neck. Turning and twisting by pushing into that left forearm, both knees weighted to the floor. Bring your right hand down, push into the right hand, raise the left hand up and out to the side. Bring that left hand back to meet the right. And then take your weight over onto your left side, turn your left foot off the mat, bring your right hand back, right foot back, right hand lifts to the ceiling, finding that side plank and raising that right leg up to hip height. Bring the knee into the chest, take hold of the shin or the ankle, bring your left foot back onto the mat, bring the hands to the chest, palms together, left elbow, right knee, and rotate the body to the right side of the room. Push energetically into those feet. Then bring those shoulders back forward, bring the hands to the hips, tuck the back toes under, and lift up that back knee. Bring the hands behind the back, interlace the fingers, push the hands down towards that left leg, and then bring that right shoulder towards that right knee. As you lift those hands maybe away from the lower back, finding that humble warrior place. Then bring those shoulders back over those hips. Bring the arms in front of you. Wrap this time the right arm under the left arm. Maybe bend the elbows, bring the hands to the shoulders and lift the elbows up, or find the back of the hands, or find the double wrap of the palms. Reach up with the hands, up with the elbows. Try not to flare those ribs. Keep yourself engaged to the floor, connected, and finding that stability. Finding an awareness of where those hips are in space, keeping them nice and low. We're on the toes of the back foot, and we're pushing strong into that right sole of the foot. Release those hands down, either side of that right foot. Drop the left knee down, right knee back to meet the left. Take that rotation again in tabletop position. Breath in, raise the right hand, turn and twist to the right. Then thread the right hand in between the left, bringing the right ear to the mat. If you're happy to lift the left hand, send it up to the ceiling. And then maybe bring that left hand behind the back, taking a hold of that right thigh. Just hold it in this space for another breath. Then bring that left hand back down by the side of the face. Reach up and out with the right hand twisting to the right. Bring the right hand back to meet the left. Same on the other side. Breath in, raise the left hand, turn, twist to the left. Thread that left hand in between the right hand, right knee, bringing your left ear to the mat. Then reach up with the right hand if you're comfortable with the neck. Use that left forearm as some stability and support. Maybe bring that right hand behind the back to find that left thigh, just to get some mobility through those shoulders. Reach back up with that right hand, bring it back down to the side of the face. Push into the right hand, raise up and out with the left hand, rotate to the left. Bring that left hand down to meet the right. So we're going to add another pose on, which will be a balance. So turning your right foot off the mat, coming onto your right side, reaching up with the left hand, lifting up with the left leg to hip height. Bring that knee into the chest, take a hold of the ankle or the shin. Bring the left foot forward, bring your right foot back onto the mat. Bring the hands to the chest. Right elbow hooks over that left knee. We turn, rotate. Hold it here for a breath. Then bring those shoulders back forward, tuck your back toes under, lift your back knee. Bring the hands behind the back, interlace the fingers, push them down towards the right leg as the chest comes to the inside of the left thigh. And maybe those hands lift away from those lower spines and relax the neck. Bring those hands back to that lower back. Bring the shoulders over the hips. Bring the arms forward. Left elbow hooks under the right. Bend the elbows. Just bring the hands to the shoulders and lift those elbows up high. Then release those elbows down. Bring the hands behind you. Step onto that left foot as you raise that right leg to find aeroplane balance. Just for a couple of breaths, both hips stay nice and level. Your right leg lifts as high as you can to hip height. Your torso comes as low as you can to be in line with the hips. Squeeze the shoulder blades together to create some expansion of the chest. Then step back with that right foot. Bring the hands to either side of the left foot. Drop the right knee. Left knee back to meet the right. We're going to take a couple of lateral flexions of the spine now. So hands stay where they are, feet and knees stay where they are. Turn and twist the body so it turns back towards that right foot, but the hips stay neutral in the centre of the mat. Come back through centre. Turn, twist, rotate to the left. Taking that lateral flexion of the spine, we'll do it one more time both sides. Turning towards that right foot, hips straight, try and keep them in the middle. Back to centre and take a turn to the opposite side. Come back to centre. This time we turn our left foot off the mat. We bring our weight onto the left side, find our side plank. You probably know where you're going now. Lift up with that right foot, open the chest to the right. Bring that knee into the chest, take a hold of the shin or the ankle, help it forward, bring your left foot back onto the mat. Bring the hands to the chest, left elbow over that right knee, rotate. Hold it in this rotation for a breath. Then turn those shoulders back to the front, bring both hands onto the hips, tuck the back toes under, lift the back knee. Bring the hands to the lower back, interlace the fingers, squeeze the shoulder blades together, then bring that right shoulder towards that right knee, maybe lifting the hands away from the lower back and relaxing through that neck. Bring the hands back to the lower back, lift up with the shoulders, stack them over the hips, bring the arms forward, right elbow under the left, bend the elbows, bring the hands to the shoulders, lift the elbows as high as you can. Then release the hands down and back behind you, and then step forward onto your right leg. As you lift your left leg up to hip height, Take as many steps as you need to get to this space. Squeeze those shoulder blades together to expand that chest. And try and keep that left hip totally square to the mat in line with the right. Bend into your right knee and step your left foot back. Bring both hands down either side of the right foot. Drop the left knee. Right knee back to meet the left. And we'll take those lateral flexions again. Turning towards the right foot, keeping the hips in the centre. Try not let them bump over to any side. Come back to centre. Other way. Looking and gazing to that left foot. Back to centre. Same to the other side. Back to centre. And same to the left. Come back to centre. We have one more pose to add on after that standing balance, which will be chair. So turning your right foot off the mat, bringing your weight onto your right side, sending your left foot back and the left hand to the ceiling. Raise that left leg up hip high. Bring that knee in towards the chest. Take a hold of the leg. Bring it forward. Bring your right foot back onto the mat. Bring the hands together at the chest. Bring your right elbow onto your left knee. Turn, twist, rotate. Try and stack that left shoulder on top of the right. Come back to centre, bring the hands to the hips, tuck the back toes under and lift that back knee away from the floor. Bring the hands to behind the back, interlace the fingers. Your left shoulder comes to that left knee and the chest to the inside of the left thigh. As your hands raise up to the ceiling, try and squeeze those shoulder blades together here. Then bring those shoulders back over those hips. Reach both hands forward. Left elbow under right, bend the elbows, bring the hands to the shoulders, lift the elbows nice and high. Then release those arms, bring them behind you. Step forward onto your left foot, raising that right leg up to hip high and the torso to hip high. Hold it in aeroplane pose just for a breath. Then bring your right foot to meet the left. Sink into the knees. Raise the arms up to the ears. Feel like you're lifting the lower belly up and tucking the tailbone down. Staying as low as you can with those hips. One more breath here. Then release over the legs. Stepping your left foot back. Dropping the left knee. Bringing your right foot back. Dropping the right knee. And just take a round of cat-cow here. Breath in, lifts at the head. Lifts at the bum. Drops the belly. Breath out, we fold everything back in. Chin to chest. Tailbone tucks. Bring it back to neutral space. Turn your left foot off the mat, doing exactly the same poses on this side. Turning the torso to the right side, reaching up with the right hand, reaching up with the right leg to hip height. Bring that knee into the chest, take a hold of that leg and bring that right foot forward, bring the left foot on the mat. Bring the hands to the chest, left elbow, right knee. Turn, twist, rotate. Right shoulder stacking on top of the left, pelvis neutral to the short edge. Come back to centre. Bring both hands onto the hips, tuck the back toes under and lift the back knee. Find your stability first, then find the hands in the lower back. Squeeze the shoulder blades together. Bring the right shoulder to the right knee, chest to the inside of the right thigh, and the hands lifting if that's comfortable for the shoulders. Then lift up with the torso. Hands come back to the lower back. Arms come out in front of you. Right elbow hooks under the left. Bring the hands to the shoulders and lift those elbows up as high as you can. Then bring the hands down by the sides of the body and then back. Then step forward onto your right leg, lifting your left leg up to hip height, finding that aeroplane pose, squeezing the shoulder blades together, create that space in the chest. Then bring your left foot to meet the right, sink into the knees. Sink the hips, bring the arms up by the sides of the ears. Lift the lower belly up and tuck the tailbone down so we don't dump that lower back. Try and lift those arms as high as you can by the side of the ears by using those upper deltoid muscles, switching on the strength of the shoulders. Then allow the body to fold over those legs. Step back with your right foot, drop the right knee. Step back with your left foot and drop the left knee. Take a round of cat-cow here. Breath in, lifts up the head, lifts up the bum, drops the belly. Breath out, we fold everything back in, chin to chest and the tailbone tucks. Come back to a center space. So we're going to take all those poses, just holding each pose for a couple of breaths this time rather than flowing through to the last pose. So turn your right foot off the mat, come onto your right side, reach up with your left hand, reach up with your left leg to hip height. Holding it here for the count of 3, 2, 1. Bring that knee into the chest, bring your left foot through, bring your right foot back onto the mat. Bring the hands to the chest, right elbow, left knee, turn, rotate to the left. For 3, 2, 1. Bring those shoulders back forward, bring the hands to the hips, tuck the toes under at the back and lift the back knee. Bring the hands to behind the back, interlace the fingers, squeeze the shoulder blades together. Bring that chest to the inside of that left thigh and reach up with the hands if you wish. Relax the neck. For 3, 2, 1. Bring those shoulders back over the hips. Bring the hands forward, shoulder height. Left elbow under the right, bend the elbows. Bring the hands to the shoulders, raise the elbows high. For 3, 2, and 1. Bring the hands down by the sides of the body, then behind. Step forward onto your left foot and reach the right foot up to hip height, torso to hip height. Nice long line from the crown of the head to the heel. For 3, 2, and 1. Bring your right foot to meet the left, bend into the knees, reach the arms up, biceps by the sides of the ears, tuck the tailbone under, lift the lower belly up. For 3, 2, 1. Release forward over the thighs, bring your left foot back, drop the left knee, right foot back and drop the right knee. Take a round of cat-cow. Breath in, lifts the head, lifts the bum, drops the belly. Breath out, fold everything back in, chin to chest and the tailbone tucks. Come back to that center space. Turn your left foot off the mat, roll onto your left side, reach up with the right hand, reach up with the right leg. Hold it in side plank for 3, 2, 1. Bring that right knee into the chest, bring the right foot through, bring your left foot back onto the mat, hands to the chest. Left elbow, right knee, rotate to the right. For 3, 2, 1. Turn the shoulders back forward. Bring the hands to the hips, tuck the back toes under and lift the back knee. Stabilize the feet, hold on to the hands behind the back, squeeze the shoulder blades together, fold forward, right shoulder to right knee, raise the hands. Humble warrior for 3, 2, 1. Lift the shoulders back over the hips. Bring the hands back forward in front of you. Right elbow under the left. Find the hands to the shoulders. Raise the elbows high. For 3, 2, and 1. Bring the hands down by the sides of the body. Step forward onto your right foot. Lift the left leg up to hip height. Toes back to the shins. Shoulders squeeze together. Aeroplane for 3, 2, and 1. Bring your left foot to meet the right, sink into the hips, raise the arms, biceps besides the ears. Lift the lower belly, tuck the tailbone under. Chair for 3, 2, 1. Fold over the legs, bring the hands to the floor. Step your right foot back, drop the right knee. Step your left foot back, drop the left knee. Take a round of cat-cow. Breath in, lifts the head, lifts the bum, drops the belly. Breath out, we fold everything back in, chin to chest, tailbone tucks. Come back to a center space, tabletop position. Reach the hands a little further forward. Let the chest drop down to the floor, forehead to the mat. Stretching through those armpits, the sides of the waist. Taking a few moments here. Just expanding through the chest. Taking the upper part of the back into a back bend. Hips are stacked over the knees. And then bring the hips forward to a hover near the heel of the hands. And we'll take circles with the hips in one direction. So take the hips over to the left, back towards the heels, over to the right, back to the heel of the hands. And again, over to the left, back to the heels, over to the right, back to the heel of the hands. Opposite direction twice, over to the right, back to the heels, over to the left, back to the heel of the hands, and again over to the right, back to the heels, over to the left, back to the heel of the hands. Let that body come all the way to the floor. Bring the elbows underneath the shoulders, tops of the feet flat, pushing into those big toes. Lift up through the chest, squeeze the shoulder blades back, finding Sphinx pose for a couple of breaths here. Keep pushing those hips down, engaging through those glutes. Try not to let that lower back feel it's pinching, but try and create some more arch in that upper back, in that thoracic space, that place between the rib cage. Bring those chests back towards the floor. Bring the hands by the sides of the chest. Tuck under with the toes. Bring the chest back. Separate the knees as wide as you can take them. Bring the big toes together, the seat to the feet, foreheads to the mat. And just take a moment in child's pose. Breathing nice and easy in through the nose and out through the mouth. So we're going to make our ways now onto our bum. Bringing the bum into the centre, the feet around to the front. Just doing a little bit of strength work here first before we take ourselves down onto the mat. Bring your feet in towards you, take a hold of the creases of the knees. Squeeze the shoulder blades together and then try and draw them down and away from the ears. Find a balancing point, maybe just coming up onto your toe tips to find it. Once you've found a good balance and a nice straight spine, lift up with one foot and then lift up with your other. So the toes are in line with the knees. You're holding on to the back of the knees just for a moment. Maybe we'll release in a second depending on how you feel in your balance. Breathing deeply, concentrating on that breath. Rather than anything that's bothering you, just keep the awareness away from that space and just concentrate on those inhales and exhales. If you're coming with me, release the right hand, release the left hand. Still relax those shoulders. Keep that focus on on each breath you take. One more breath here. Then release one foot, release the other. Give those knees a hug. Wrap those arms around the knees. Bring that chin into the chest, the forehead to the knees. Stretching through the back of the neck, the upper part of the spine, down to the lower spine. Then a little bit of core engagement as we make our way onto our backs. Bring both legs straight, toes back to the shins, arms out, shoulder height. Slowly bring yourself down, using abdominal strength to control the movement. Take advantage of those long limbs. And then when you come all the way to the floor, as controlled as you can take it, bring those arms either to cactus arms or a T shape. Bring the knees into a bend again. Knees together, heels together. Let the knees go over to your left side, the gaze to your right side. With control, let those knees lower. Turn and gaze to that right elbow or right hand. Try and plug both shoulders into the mat. Finding that little neutralization of that waist. If you feel the lower back's pinching, maybe just lift the lower belly up and tuck the tailbone down slightly. Then bring both knees back to the center. Gaze to the ceiling. Then slowly lower those knees to your right side, your gaze to your left side. Gaze into that left elbow, keeping the left shoulder down. Relaxing through those lower limbs as they've reached the floor. Again, check in and be aware of that lower back. Belly lifts, tailbone tucks. Plug those shoulders maybe into that floor a little more. Bring those knees back in towards the centre. We'll just take a little stretch of the hips so right foot comes on top of the left knee. Turn the knee out. Bring that left knee in towards you. Maybe hold on to that left thigh with both hands, maybe interlacing the fingers behind it. And then push that right elbow into that right knee. Right toes come back to the shins, left toes come back to the shins to take both feet into that dorsiflexion. And squeeze that left knee in and maybe a little closer. Maybe you're wishing to start to close the eyes here as we're safe position of laying on the floor, no balance can be lost. Bring that left foot back to the floor, right foot to meet the left. Bring your left ankle onto the top of the right knee. Turn the left knee out, left toes back to the shins. Bring your right knee in towards you. Interlace the fingers around that thigh of the right if you can. And then use that left elbow to push that left knee out. Squeeze maybe the right knee in a little further. Both feet are in dorsiflexion, toes back to the shins. Shoulders plugged into the floor. Try and create some expansion through the chest rather than rolling through those shoulders and creating pressure through that neck. One more breath here. Release that right foot to the floor, left foot to meet the right. We'll just take it into a back bend bridge just for one. Push into the feet, slowly start to raise those hips. Lifting them up as high as you can, bringing that chin in towards the chest and the chest to the chin. Some space through the back of the neck. Use those hands as stabilizers to support. Try not to let the knees sway out to the side. Squeeze the bum one last time. And then slowly let those bums come back down to the floor. Let the legs come long to the ends of the mat unless you have another version for relaxation for yourself. Maybe it's knees dropped out like butterfly legs or knees dropped in with that internal rotation. Or maybe you wish to lay on your side body. Whatever works for you. Close the eyes. Relax the forehead, the jaw. Let the tongue drop away from the roof of the mouth and those lips gently part. Just take some easy breaths here, or maybe take some deep breaths, whatever that body requires. If it needs a little more oxygen into the body, take a longer breath in with a slightly shorter breath out. The longer breath in creates some energy, and the long breath out creates some relaxation and a restorative feeling. Consolidating everything that you've just done through your practice, moving that body through rotation, flexion, extension, external hip rotation, shoulder mobility, working the whole body through all planes of movement. If you wish to take longer in relaxation, feel free to pause me now. If you're coming out with me, start to wriggle the fingers and the toes. Maybe rotate those wrists and ankles. And if you wish to take a full body stretch, stretching up and over the head with the hands and down through the toes, then bringing the hands up and over, bringing the knees in towards the chest. Maybe rocking over to one side or rocking up and down that spine a couple of times, up to seated once, back down, up to seated twice. And then find your way into a comfortable seat. Bring the hands onto the top of the thighs. Take a long, deep breath in. Long breath out. Bring the hands to the chest. Rub the palms of the hands together to create some heat. Bring those hands over the eyes, blinking into the palms. Allow light through the fingers. Take another deep breath in. Long breath out. Bring the hands to the chest. Soft gaze to the floor. Have peace in your thoughts, your words, your hearts. From my heart to yours. Namaste.